Hi, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Accidentally in Love Book Club chat for the book pick of March, which was Rapper's Delight. And we have the author right here. So, Kenya, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about Rapper's Delight?
Hi, I'm Kenya Gordell, and I write historical under Caresville, and I write contemporary romance under my real name, Kenya Gordell. And Rapper's Delight is the first book in the Mogul series. I'm all over the place. Okay. The first book in the Mogul series. It's hard to navigate. And it's basically about the biggest, most popular rapper in the world, Fade Carrington, and the girl he has loved since he was 17 years old, Delightful Howard. And they have, right as they were getting ready to have a budding, teen romance, Fade hits start. He's about to hit stardom, and then his best friend Justice Delightful's brother is killed, and they are torn apart for 12 years. And then this book is about them reconnecting and falling in love.
And it's really good. You should check it out. Absolutely. So, Kenya, what was the inspiration for Rapper's Delight?
One day I was sitting in bed, and as you do, and I was watching the news, and they said, Jay-Z is a billionaire. And I said, well, that's a billionaire romance. And I was so I just researched everything about how he made his billions. And it was not actually music, it was other endeavors like he has a champagne, he invests in real estate, he has title and Uber and all of these different investments that he's made. And I wanted to um, kind of write a character who emulated him and who, so I really got engrossed in the rap, as my son says. And I started researching everything about his life, and I just wanted to write a story about that and about, at the same time, Get Out got a in Moonlight got Oscars, and I wanted to write a story about a powerful, um, gifted young woman of color filmmaker, and put them two powerful people in their own right, creative people in their own right together, and just see how those sparks flew when the woman had as much power as the man in a billionaire romance.
Whoa, that's so interesting. I love that. I never thought that that would be like the connection between Fade and Jay-Z, but I love it.
Yeah.
Um, so Rapper's Delight is about friendship and love and how trauma affects our relationships with other people. Are those the themes you knew you wanted to explore since the beginning?
I wanted to, I knew I had to have a catalyst for them reconnecting and not already finding their happily ever after at 17. And he was going on 18, and she was like on the cusp of being 16 or whatever. And I just didn't want them to find love early. And I wanted a catalyst, and I was like, um, what would happen to just tear them apart and create this distrust and this ambivalence that she feels toward him? And I love my brother to crumbs. I love him so much, and I wanted to um, show what it's also like to have such a solid, wonderful brother just ripped away from you. So I I wanted her to have that unresolved trauma because I wanted her to show her doing the work of getting better, because mental illness is such a crisis in this country, and I wanted people in my own small way to say it's okay to get help, because one interview that Jay-Z did that really stuck with me was saying how he, after he had kind of ruined his relationship with Beyonce, he realized he had so much unresolved trauma that he started going to therapy and correcting that in his life and start doing a lot of inner work on himself. And I really was motivated by that because I was like, we need to, people of color also like need to get rid of the stigma of getting mental health help. And I wanted to that to be a theme in the book. So I knew I wanted to do it, but I didn't know how I was going to accomplish that in the story until I started plotting it out.
Oh, interesting. Because yeah, that's something that I noticed too, the unresolved trauma that uh Delightful is sort of enduring.
Hmm.
And I love that this is about that as well. Like it's not just the romance. Obviously romance is the focus, but it's not just about that. We also have the mental health side of it, which is super important, especially in romance, I think.
Yes, it is because you see a lot of damaged heroes in the story and a lot in stories, and it's like people always say, you know, and then there's romance, and then sometimes authors don't do a good job of showing that work and being done, emotional work or mental health work that's being done, and readers come away thinking, oh, it was love that healed them. No, you still have to work, or you're going to bring that trauma into your relationship and ruin it. So, yeah.
Exactly, that's a great point. Somebody here asks, what made you decide to start writing?
Oh, I have always been a writer. You hear this a lot, but remember being like my sister came home. I was still in kindergarten, and she had did like this little poetry project in her school, and it was just roses are red, violets are blue type of things. And then, but then I guess they had them to do like an independent poem, and it was really about their life. And she was like a gifted writer too, so she wrote the poem and I loved it. And I was like, well, I want to do that. And so for many years, I wrote poetry and did wrote plays and things. And so I would always write poetry when I was younger, and I just loved romance. And then when I got in high school, I started writing very naughty stories and passing them around. And so that's how I just developed that muscle of learning how to write and craft and everything. But it has, I think that if God gives you a gift, then it kind of manifests itself early in me, and I just started using it at a from a very early age. So, but I just love writing. It's very therapeutic.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that story. Very wholesome. Um, so this book also explores intimacy with the person that you once loved and now are sort of ambivalent towards. And both of our characters are coming from a place of deep, deep hurt and a lot of anger. So how does all of these come together when they're being intimate with each other, and why did you want to explore that part of the characters themselves?
Because Fate is a person who is you see when he is around his family, and um his family is like very close knit, and they love each other a lot. He has two younger sisters who he dotes on, and his father's a minister, but Fade has a little darkness inside of him. And so that is how no one sees this side of him, but people he's intimate with, the darker side of him. And Delightful already had some of her trauma. She wanted to not necessarily work out when they were intimate, but she felt she was able to be more vulnerable with him when they were intimate and not outwardly, because that was her, because she really still loved him, but she was mad at herself for still loving him, and she wanted to, but that was her time to find, because you see when they're in the music studio she's struggling, and he sees that she's struggling, and then he didn't want it to become a consent issue, so he just removed himself from the situation, because he was like, she's not sure, because when he knew he wanted to be with her, but he knew it was going to be very intense, and he didn't want to subject her to that if she wasn't 100% in. So for Fade, he could unleash the beast when he was intimate, and for Delightful, she could soften and be vulnerable when she was intimate, and that is why, like, he took a lot of her mess, but where he drew the line was, when we're alone and together, then I have to be in command. And she was okay with that. So that's what that dynamic is. Sometimes when you have a very, powerful woman or a man, they can't be vulnerable but with their partner. So I wanted to show that.
That's really sweet. That's super sweet. I love that. And it's also really deep considering everything that Delightful and Fade have gone through.
Hmm.
Um, so TK Richards asks, stopping in to say hi, smiley emoji, and wondering if you are working on a new project with your bestie yet.
Okay, Naima Simone, if you guys don't know, she is a best-selling writer. She is my best friend. And no, Naima and I are not working on a project yet together. I have not even dared ask her, because Naima has so much work to do this year, and you should have her on here for her Return to Rose Bend book, or the Road to Rose Bend. It's the Road to Rose Bend. I keep, because they had one title, then they changed it. But she is very busy, and she has slated for contracts out until next year. So if we do something independently, but I've never collaborated with a person, and I'm not a really good. Let me be honest. I'm not a really good work well with others person. So I'm trying to. That's something I need to learn, TK. So I will definitely explore that idea since you just gave it to me. I don't know. I'm like, so nervous to even. I can't broach that subject. Write to Naima and ask her to write a book with me. So, but yeah, we read each other's work and encourage each other, and we do write very similarly. But I don't know. That's, you made me nervous, TK, even saying that. Naima's amazing, you guys. Go read all of her books. Oh God, she's amazing.
Naima is amazing. She is, like, her books are really, really good. And they're not all that long, so
Mhm.
definitely check her out. Um, oh, moving on to like a lighter subject.
Mhm.
What would you say is the theme song of Rapper's Delight?
Rapper's Delight, the song, like hip hop. It's like, it was before you look like you're young. So it was way before you were born. It was like one of the first rap songs, like very long. And they danced to that at the very end. So I want all of the books to have a hip hop element in them, or a um, very R&B like kind of element to them. But I'm kind of veering away from that in some of the further down the line books. But this particular one, I wanted people to immediately know this book is about a hip hop star, and that's what I wanted. And so, yeah, and I have the playlist listed somewhere. I will post it for you guys too.
Ooh, definitely share it so that I can retweet it and share it with the people because it's amazing. I love, 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 love when writers have playlists for their books. Like, that's
Uh,
my favorite thing.
yeah, I write to them. I write to the playlist, and then it just carries along the theme of all the scenes in the book too.
I love that. What type of romance is your favorite?
Uh, Actually, historical romance. I started reading romance when I was 12. My very first romance was Joanna Lindsay's Fires of Winter. So, historical romance is my favorite within the genre of romance. So, but if you're talking about the themes, I kind of veer toward a darker themed romance now. I discovered it because my friend Sienna Snow was like, "You would like a dark romance." So I've kind of, yeah, I'm in the dark side. I'm sorry, totally on the dark side.
I love that. That's so interesting. I think I've only read like one dark romance, maybe. I don't know,
Hmm.
but it's something that I want to try, and I want to try it specifically for these book club. So I don't know, maybe soon we'll see.
I send you some recs. Some,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I send you some. Yeah, you got some very courageous people writing dark romance.
Right? Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know how you do that. Like there's a lot of people always in the romance community, people are always talking about how there's this like thing that people have for romance readers
Hmm.
where, you know, we get judged or we get like the side eye from people because we read romance, and that
Hmm.
makes people sort of self-conscious about the reading choices, but I've never had that.
Right.
But I feel like even writing them, like I've seen my favorite writers tweet about like, oh, my daddy's reading my smutty romance. This is weird. And I'd be like, yeah, that would be weird. Not me
Yeah.
reading it, but me writing it and then having my mom read it. That would be like
Yes. Yes. My dad was like, "Send me Rapper's Delight," and y'all, I was like, "No way, Jose." I was like, "I will send it to you if you promise not to read it." He was like, "Well, I'm gonna read it," and I was like, "Well, I'm not sending you this book."
Yeah, no.
No,
That's
he had
so
to promise to read. He promised me. I sent him Naima's book, but he can't read mine.
Naima also writes super steamy things though, so that's
Yes. Hmm.
yeah. Do you have a favorite historical romance book?
Yes. My favorite historical romance is Nine Rules to Break When Romancing a Rake by Sarah McLean, and it's fantastic. It's maybe 2012ish, and anything by Sarah McLean, Stacy Reed. Um, she's a Caribbean author. She's fantastic. Vanessa Riley. Those are kind of my go-to people.
I love that. I've been meaning to start Vanessa's newest, uh, her newest book, or the one that came out
Yeah,
last
the
year.
top is she has one that she had one, I think a Duke, a lady and a baby, and then
Yeah.
she has the Earl, a lady and a toddler, I think, and that comes out April 27th. The
Oh,
the
these
newest one.
months.
Hmm.
Oh, amazing. Take note, everyone. Naima Simone, Sarah McLean, Stacey Reed, Kenya Gorey Bell. Um, so if there was a movie adaptation for Rapper's Delight, who would you like to play Delightful and Fade?
Okay, because I had to look this up. Sonika Martin Green. She's on Star Trek Discovery. She is fantastic, and she's from Alabama. And of course, Ray J, John Page from because I got a crush on him now. Because yeah, they would be the perfect couple for because Sonika is such a powerful actress, and Ray J has that. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Has that calm demeanor like Fade has on the outside, and I think they would be a perfect combination together.
That sounds amazing. I would love for every single romance book that I read. I feel like reads a lot like a movie. So I'm
Mhm,
like, why are people not buying it? Like this is
mhm.
weird. Please buy romance books to make movies because that's great. And it does great at the box office too, I would say.
Yeah, and I think Bridgerton is changing that because so many
Hmm.
people. have like it, you can't argue with the number of 64 million people
Yeah,
having
exactly.
watched that series. So yeah, they the money talks.
Exactly. Yes. And it's talking pretty loud, so producers, get on the romance books, please. So I have one last question for you,
Mhm.
and it is: what can readers expect from the next Mogul series books, Lotus Flower Bomb and California Love?
Okay, Lotus Flower Bomb is Flower's book, Faith's younger sister, and she falls in love with a stern Japanese billionaire named Akira Takeda, and they are fantastic. Like that book, let me tell you about that book. I was writing Rapper the Light and I stopped writing it because Akira was in my ear saying, write my book now. And I had to write his book before I could finish this one. Then the next book is California Love. Sadiq is a Moroccan prince and also a producer. He's one of Fate's best friends in this book, and he has a twin brother named Hassan who has a book down the line. But Sadiq is been warned off of Lovey Bell, who is Delightful sister, and their love, and he's made a promise that he will not mess with her, and he is released, finally released from that promise, y'all. And then he is going to go just all out to get his woman. And Lovey Bell is a hard charging director, and she's all about her career. So you're going to see her, the movie business in that book. And my friend Moni Bice used to work in Hollywood as a producer, and she really helped me navigate the whole story about, you know, consent and working together and all of that within the Hollywood machine. And you see a little bit of that in that book, and it's a beautiful love story between those two.
I love that. I, for one, cannot wait to read them. They're all on Amazon, so go check them out. I left the link to buy Rapper's Delight, and underneath that, it'll come, the other links for the other books will pop up. So definitely buy them. And yeah, would you like to finish off with recommending some Black romance books or with other things you're working on?
Well, anything I would say, just the best of the best is anything by Naima, of course. Then Alexandria House. If you guys have not read her, get your life and read her. And uh, then Laquette has a new book out called Jackson. Then there is, of course, my favorite author is Theodora Taylor, who is fantastic. Christina C. Jones, I think, has a book out called Wonder right now. And Jodie Slaughter has a new book out. I can't think of it, but she's a phenomenal. White Whiskey Bargain is the one of her best books ever, and of course Beverly Jenkins. If you want to get a little taste of historical romance, that is a starter, you guys. It's so many Black authors out there who are just killing it. T.K. Richards, who was on here, is a wonderful author as well. So you guys, there are so many of us out here writing. So please. And follow me because I follow a lot of them. And of course, Paula has great resources too. So, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Follow us, follow the book club. The next couple of book choices, if I am remembering correctly, I have to announce them, and I will tomorrow, I promise. But both of those books, the books for April, May, and June, they're all by Black authors. So, you know, check that out. And also, expand your horizons. There's so many wonderful indie authors out there. And yeah, you just need to give them a shot. and trust me, you won't regret it. So thank you so much, Kenya, for doing this with me today. Thank you, TK Richards and Elle, for interacting with us in the comments. Thank you for reading Rapper's Delight. Like I said, I left links down below so that you can support Kenya both on Twitter and on her website. Subscribe to her newsletter, do all the things, join the book club, and I hope you have a great life. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys.
Bye.